Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. You've probably read the title of this video and thought that's clearly clickbait. There is no way that he got bitten by a tiger, but I actually did, and that's the story that I want to share with you guys today. Now, as some of you guys may or may not know, a few years ago, I spent some time living in a tiger sanctuary, living and working in a tiger sanctuary in Thailand. There was around 100 tigers living there. There was 2 lions, there was a load of bears, there were birds of prey, there were wild deer and wild boar, and just everything you can imagine was living there in this forest alongside us. And it was amazing. Honestly, the best experience of my life. The majority of the animals that lived there had been rescued from poachers and really bad living conditions and closed down zoos and all sorts of things. Like, I remember one of the lions, this amazing, beautiful lion, had been rescued from like a Thai drug lord who had been using the lion as a guard dog, and that just made me feel like I was in the plot of some ridiculous movie. But yeah, it was just incredible to work with these animals. And there was this gorgeous, beautiful baby little bear called Bubbles, and she was just the most fun to be around. And she had been rescued from like awful conditions. I think she'd been found abandoned in the back of a car, and her teeth had been filed down and her claws had been filed down. So people had really abused these animals. So it was really a pleasure and an honor to work alongside them and to, rehabilitate them and work with them. It was just amazing. Now, I loved every single animal that I worked with, but I must admit that I did have a favourite, and my favourite was this beautiful 1-year-old tiger cub called Universe. Now, he was technically a cub, but he was like 1 year old, so he was like bigger than me, so he was a great big massive tiger, but he was still technically considered a cub, and he was really friendly and he was really playful, and me and him were best buds. I loved being around him. He was so naughty, he was so badly behaved, he was like so mischievous all the time, but I just loved him, and I miss him so much. He was one tiger in quite a big litter, and they were all named after things to do with the universe. So he was called Universe, and there was one called Galaxy, and Neptune, and Apollo, and Venus, and they were just lovely, like big ass cubs, and they were just such a pleasure to be around. And I remember every single morning I would get up at like 6 a.m. and I'd go up to see them, and he would always just come bounding out, and he'd always go for my legs. I don't know what it was about my legs, but it was like they were his plaything. He loved to go for my legs all the time. And because it was Thailand, I was wearing shorts, so I had like no protection on my legs, and he would just like go for them all the time. He's such a little rascal. And then one morning, Universe and I went for a walk through the forest. Now, this was quite common. Like almost every single morning, we'd go up and we'd meet with the cubs, and then we'd take them out into the forest and have a little walk around with them. And this was like part of our daily routine, so nothing out of the ordinary. And then this massive pack of wild boar came running, charging out into the forest. And when I say wild boar, I'm not talking about like some tiny little pigs or anything like this. I'm talking about like, they were like this high, these massive, they were like ferocious. These beasts is what they were. They were honestly terrifying. I wasn't scared of the lions, I wasn't scared of the tigers or the bears, but I was absolutely terrified of these massive wild boar. And Universe, he's a tiger and he's pretty big, but he's like nothing on these massive wild boar. Universe is like, you know what, I'm gonna have a pop at them. And I'm like, no, Universe, you need to calm down and you need to chill. So Universe is getting all excited. I don't know if he wanted to like kill them or if he wanted to play with them. I guess he probably wanted to kill them. Tigers are killers after all. So like, Universe is getting all worked up and excited. And I've got both of my arms wrapped around Universe's chest, and a tiger's chest, even as a cub, even at just 1 year old, they have this enormous, like hulking chest, and they're just all muscle. So I've got both of my arms wrapped around Universe. I'm trying to stop him, and he's all like trying to like duck out of my arms and trying to get away. And I'm like, Universe, calm your ass down. And then Universe has completely had enough of this. He's like, I don't know who this kid is trying to stop me, but I want to go and play with those boars or kill those boars or whatever it was that he wanted to do. And he just completely had enough of me trying to stop him. And so he just turned around and just lashed at my leg. Remember how I told you that he loved my legs? Well, he did not love my legs that morning. He dug his teeth straight into my leg, and I've never felt pain like it. Like I think like 3 of his teeth went into the front of my leg, and like 3 went into the back, into the calf muscle, and then he like dug in, and then I pulled away, which just like tore all the flesh and everything, and my legs were just like a bloody mess. And because of the humidity and everything out there in Thailand, and you know, we were living in a forest as well, we didn't have running water, like we were limited on like cleaning and things like that, so like I had like a completely like wrecked leg, and it took weeks and weeks to heal. And I was like, universe, you little fuck. But you know, I'm always about every cloud has a silver lining, and I was like, this is gonna be so cool. I'm gonna have like these amazing scars on my leg, and every time I'm in like a bar talking to a cute boy, I'd be like, hey, do you want to see where a tiger bit me? And then I'll like get my leg out and be like, look at my badass scars, look how rock star I am. Because you know, I'm not a very cool person, so I need anything that I can get to give me those like cool points. And then like my legs healed, and I got like this poxy little pathetic scar. Honestly, you've never seen something so pathetic in your whole life. It looks like I got like stabbed with a pencil or something. Like I would get out my leg and show you, but you probably wouldn't even be able to see it. It's so small. So like I was like, I got bitten by a tiger and I got nothing to show for it. So I was like really, really upset that my legs weren't mangled. And now this is where the tattoo part comes in, and I know what you're thinking. You probably sat there thinking, I clicked on this video to see how he got this tattoo because you're interested in that apparently, and now I've just told you my life story and I'm talking about lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And you're wondering what on earth this has to do with my tattoo. Well, I'm gonna tell you. So obviously I wasn't the only person working there. There were loads and loads of Thai staff working there, and there were also 10 people from all around the world, from all different English-speaking countries working there as well. And a lot of the girls got little tattoos in their ear, just here, and they got what was like a little tiger paw, and it was so, so cute, and I was like, oh my god. I've always said that I never want a tattoo, but I just thought that was so cool and just like a wonderful reminder of this amazing experience and working with these like beautiful, majestic animals. So I was like, I want that. And then I was thinking about getting it, and then somebody pointed out to me that as soon as I leave this tiger sanctuary, as soon as I leave this world of living with tigers, it's just going to be like a paw print, and people are going to think it's like a dog paw print, and it's not going to have the same resonance. And I was like, yeah, I really did not think this through. So suddenly I was like, I absolutely don't want to get that because that's going to look ridiculous when I go back to my office job. So I thought, sod that, not getting a paw print tattooed on my ear. But now, thinking about it, I would really, really like to get a tattoo just to kind of document this experience. And again, I always said I would never get a tattoo. I was like, tattoos are way too permanent. And for me, I just thought, I can't ever make a decision that permanent at any point in my life. You know, they say our personalities completely change and we turn into a completely different person every 7 years. So I was like, if I get a tattoo now, in 7 years' time, I'm probably gonna go, why on earth did you tattoo that on your skin? So I've always been kind of like anti-tattoos. I love tattoos on other people, but for me, I just never thought tattoos were right for me. But this experience was so important to me, and I thought, how am I ever gonna look at a tattoo that reminds me of this wonderful experience and ever regret that? So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get a tattoo. And I did kind of toy with the idea of like getting like a tattoo on my leg where I'd been bitten by the tiger, so I could show that off to cute boys. And everyone was just kind of like, Callum, this, like, you really need to let this go. Like, this isn't gonna get you laid. Boys are not gonna be impressed by this. Like, just drop it. So I was like, okay, fine. So what do I want to get tattooed on me? So one morning, I'm sat with Universe and I'm bottle feeding him with a little bottle of milk because he absolutely loved that. And if I had a bottle of milk in my back pocket, he would try and steal it, and he'd like come swiping at me with his massive paws that were bigger than my head. But yeah, he loved being bottle fed. He absolutely loved it. So I'm bottle feeding him, and I remember he was like kind of like laying in my lap, and I was just looking down at this like massive tiger head in my lap. And I was looking at the markings on his face, and he just had these wonderful markings just under his eye here. And I just thought, like, those markings, like, I would love to get those markings tattooed somewhere on me. And when I was trying to think of a place, it just made sense for it to, like, sit above my heart here. So that's what I did. And as well, I feel like, because his name was Universe, and I've always kind of, I'm not religious, but I've always felt kind of spiritual, and I guess my beliefs have always been in like the universe and everything happens for a reason. And you know, I had been brought together in this world of all the things that could have happened to me. I'd been brought together with this amazing animal called Universe, and I just thought, you know, like I could feel his heartbeat, and I felt so connected to him, and I was like, this is beautiful, and I would love something to become a part of me, a part of my body, to always, always remember this. So it almost became a no-brainer, like getting some of this tiger's markings tattooed onto me, on my chest, above my heart, and just everything that stood for. And, you know, something just clicked, and I was like, yeah, almost as if like I hadn't planned this, I hadn't thought about it myself, like it was just happening on its own. I was like, yes, this is absolutely what I have to do. So just before my 23rd birthday, me and the other people I was working with, who I considered to be like family, they were really, really close friends by this point, we all hitched a ride into town. The town was like so far away. It was like just hours away. It was like, because we were in a forest in the middle of nowhere, you know? So we would hitch a ride with the man who would bring all the chickens in. So we called him the Chicken Man. So we hitched a ride into town with the Chicken Man, and we went to the same tattoo artist that had done all the tiger paw prints in the girl's ears, and we went there, and I got my tattoo. I said, this is what I want it above my heart, and that's what he did. And I remember Rick, wonderful, wonderful Rick. We called him Canyon Rick. Don't really remember why, but we did. He was Dutch, and he was like my roommate. I say roommate, we were like basically living in sheds, so he was like my shed mate. But yeah, like we shared a little space together, and he and I were really, really close. So Canyon Rick sat with me, and he held my hand. I'm going to put a little picture up now so you can see that, and he held my hand while I got the tattoo done. And I remember he was like screaming, like this didn't hurt at all. I guess it's one of those places where it just doesn't cause any pain because I barely even felt it. But he was like so nervous about the needle that he was like horrified and screaming throughout. So it was really nice to kind of share that experience with him as well. So yeah, they finished the tattoo, and then we just had this amazing night out. We were just having so much fun and laughing all night long, just like celebrating my birthday. And it's one of the best birthday celebrations I've ever had in this tiny little town in the middle of nowhere in Thailand. Like, we're not talking Bangkok or something, we're talking like literally a little street with a few like shop fronts on it. So it was just amazing, and I'm so grateful for that experience, and I'm so grateful for all the people that I shared it with. And then, oh, I forgot like one of the most important parts. So then the next day, on my actual birthday, I remember like the goat woke me up. This goat, Priscilla, she had like massive, massive tits. Like, I don't know, like we kept trying to milk her, but she was really sensitive. So she had these like massive, massive udders. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you that. So Priscilla woke me up. Priscilla came into my shed and she woke me up, and Priscilla and I went down and we went to meet the Buddhist monks, and we gave like a, I'm saying we, like me and the goat were like a team in this. No, we weren't. So I went down to see the Buddhist monks, and I gave them like an offering, and then which was just a really, really nice experience to, you know, give back to the local people and stuff. So I gave this lovely, lovely offering, and then they blessed my tattoo, and they like blessed it with protection and stuff like that. And you know, I don't know if I believe in all that stuff, but it's just nice. So this tattoo has so many meanings and memories for it. And just every time I see it, like every single time I look in the mirror and things like that, I'm just like, I love this tattoo. And everyone always says, what the hell is that? Like, they think it's like some weird, like, foreign writing or something, and nobody really understands what it is. But every time somebody asks, I get to tell them this story, and I love telling this story because it's just really special to me. So, yeah, that's how I got my tattoo. So it has been an absolute pleasure sharing this little story with you guys, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do remember to give this video a thumbs up. It really, really helps me out, and it really helps my channel out, so please do that. Do leave a comment down below if you have any questions, or you just want to contribute to the debates, I don't know what we're debating about, tigers, I don't know. So yeah, but do leave a comment down below. Do subscribe if you're new to this channel, and I'll see you all very, very soon. See ya!